Right, well, welcome to this second part of the Visual Studio 2019 C Alexa skill videos. And in the first part, we saw how to set up the the Visual Studio 2019, and get the AWS toolkit for Visual Studio, and set up your configuration and access to it. So in this part, what we'll do is we'll just go and carry on, and we'll create an example code which will use slots, so just slightly different from my normal hello world. So the voice user interface might go like this. Alexa says, "Welcome, please tell me your name." The user says, "My name is John." John will then be passed from your Alexa to your program in a slot. Our program will read that slot and send back a message and respond with "Hello, John." So let's see how we do this. We're going to create a new AWS Lambda project. This is where we left it last time. So this is Visual Studio 2019. If we click Create a New Project, we can scroll down and find out our projects. We'll pick a project template. It seems to be thinking inordinately long. So we'll just carry on. I'll just shut you down for now. And we'll see what we're going to do. So we'll need to configure our project, replace the function code with the code that I'm providing you, and then we'll need to check the updates and add the libraries. We didn't do that last time round. So, okay, so these are all our templates. We scroll down here. This is the one we want, the AWS Lambda project template. So we'll give it a name. Let's call it Hello John, shall we? Oops, if I can type it. Check the location. This is going to defaulting to the GitHub. I don't want it there. I'll just put it in my C# examples and create. Okay, so we pick an empty function. I'll create our project. I'll just pause the video while it's doing. Okay, and our project's created. And the next first thing we're going to want to do is we'll look at our function code here. And what we're going to do is we're going to replace, we've configured our project. We'll replace the function code with the code we've got at the end. I've got that in a separate file here. I'll just copy that. And still loading the function down. And then when we've done that, as I said, we'll check for any updates on our code that's been loaded down, and add some libraries that we'll need. There's only 2 that we need here. Still loading. Very slow this morning. Oh, there we are. Right, okay, so I've just saved all that code. We'll look briefly at the code, but it's just generally the usual intents: cancel, stop, help. I've just got one here called hello rather than hello world, so we'll go in and change that. That keeps a record of the count of number of times that we visited, checks for a username. If we don't have a username, it calls us null. Otherwise, it picks the username that's been passed from the intent request and then returns saying hello username. You can look at the code later. Okay, but you'll notice that we've got all these errors at the moment, so we need to check the packages and add some packages. So I just click here, and we've gone to manage NuGet packages. As you see, the Lambda core needs an update, so we'll update that. Okay, and then we'll need to browse for a couple of packages. These packages are mentioned in this script here, and I'll make these scripts available to you. So the first one we want is this alexa.net by Tim Hure. So we'll browse for some packages. We'll look for that. That's the one. We want to install it. Say OK. And the next one, I can close that down, I don't need that. And the next one is Amazon Lambda serialization JSON. By Amazon, so that's the one we want. Install that. Say OK. And so now if we look at the list, we'll see this Lambda core has been updated, serial JSON. Oh, we might see this system text JSON as well, but I don't think we need that. Okay, so we'll save load and then upload. Let's see what happens. Yeah, we've got a couple of warnings here. If we look at these warnings, it just tells us the code could be written a bit better. Okay, so we'll do a save all. I'm not sure I've saved everything first of all, so we'll do a save all. And now we can upload. To upload the code, we click on our Hello John over here and publish to AWS Lambda. So here we need to just fill in a few names. We'll give it a function. Oh, yes, hello. Hello John. I had a problem here once when it wouldn't let me go on to the next stage. That's because I'd chosen the wrong place to save the files in the first instance. So you use that GitHub repo location. So if these aren't emptied or filled for you, then just check that. Okay, so we'll click to go on to the next page. Note I'm at US North Virginia here. If you're using somewhere else, as I mentioned before in the previous video, you'll need to check that. So we're going to use a Lambda basic execution. You can change how much memory in your timeout sessions you want here if you want to. Otherwise, we can upload, and again, I'll pause the video whilst it uploads. It takes a while. Once it's uploaded, you can actually do a test here. We can can do an invoke as long as we choose the right invocation. We can say Alexa start session here, and when we invoke that, we can see what the response is. I click pretty print. Oh, we've got an error. Well, that's a nuisance, isn't it? Oh, I forgot an error. Okay, I found out why we had the error, and it's worthwhile noting what we did. So if I look at the code that I copied, the namespace was called personal hello, whereas I actually changed it when I created the program. I called it Hello John. So if we go to the code here, we'll see that we've got a personal hello here, whereas this could really needs to be Hello John. Oh, sorry. We'll save that and we'll try another upload. Let's see what happens. Try another publish. I think this is going to be wrong. I think this is going to need to be Hello John. And if mentioned, if we looked at this one again here, cancel that. Here we think we need this function handler needs to be Hello John. We've changed the name. I'll just check that before I proceed. I'll just stop the video again. Okay, so I've solved the problem. I'll tell you what I did wrong, just so you don't make the same mistake, was that when I copied this code here, which is all the code I need, this is the end of the listing, it was called personal hello. So when you copy and upload it, just make sure that you do change the namespace here. I had to change it from personal hello to Hello John. So had I called it personal hello in the first place, everything would have been all right. But just check, you need to change that namespace when you do the upload. Now we can see that I've done the upload. I've invoked a start session. I'll do that again just to show you. And I get a response here. And if I put it in pretty print, you see what we get here. We get the text, hello, what is your name? So that's just testing it within Visual Studio 2019. What we need to do now is to do the linking between our code that we've got here, the Amazon lambda area where the code is zipped up and held, and that needs to link to your voice user interface and the developer console. So it's a bit fiddly. So we'll go through it slowly and we'll see how it goes. So we're up here. We got to this stage here. We've done the upload. We've tested it with the start session. So you can see it's always useful to test with the start session before carrying on and then getting really messed up. So the next thing we need to do is go to developer.com and log in, which I've already done here. We don't have a skill here yet for this. These are just some old skills I'm messing around with. And then, so we are going to create a new skill here. We're going to call it Hello John, and custom skill, provision your own, start from scratch. So we'll do that now. So we want to create a skill. Let's call it Hello John, English UK. No, I'm still in Northeast Virginia here. Custom, provision your own, and create the skill. That then goes on to another page. We'll start from scratch and choose that. So whilst that's creating, we'll just go and have a look, see what else we need to do then. So we've done this. The next thing we're going to do here is we're going to go to the endpoints and copy the skill endpoint. So we're going to link our voice user interface and developer to our lambda. And then we're going to go to AWS, log in, and find your function. Well, I can do that whilst I still think, okay, we've got there. So we'll go to our endpoints and close these down a minute. And what we want is we want this endpoint here, copy that to the clipboard. Now what we need to do is to go back to our functions here. We reload this, we should see that our Hello John function has been uploaded. There it is there. And we select that. We need to go to the configuration. And I think that's what we do. So configuration, add a trigger. We're going to add this skills kit. So we're going to add a trigger. Select the trigger. The Alexa skills kit's going to be our trigger. We could have a trigger by uploading a file or something to an S3 bucket or whatever. Control V is the skill ID, and we'll add that. Okay, so that's been added. That's all we need to do here. So that's linked our Visual Studio voice interface to our Lambda. We need to do it the other way. We also need to do it the other way around. So we now need to copy the Lambda function and return to the developer skill and do it the other way. So we do copy the ARN here. That's copied. We go here, and in these endpoints here, we need to paste that skill and save the endpoints. Okay, so that's the tricky bit. That's linking everything together. It's so much easier using an Alexa hosted skill, but then of course you can't use C#. So return to developer skill, paste the ARN in, default region, we've done that. Now the skills are linked. Okay, check the invocation is what we want. So let's go to the invocation. This hopefully says, oh, okay, it didn't. That's surprising me. Hello, John. We'll save the model, and we're also going to have to change the interaction. We want to delete the hello world intent because we're going to, if you remember, we had our own intent, so we're going to add our own hello intent. So let's just go and do that. So we go to the interaction model, intents, and we don't have a hello world intent. We'll delete that, otherwise it's going to get confused. We're going to add an intent. We're going to call this Hello World and create a custom intent. And I just want to check Oh, wrong one, sorry, that was something else I was working on. Just checking our code. Here we'll see. Oh, it's just hello intent, so it's a good job I checked that. Back to intents. Delete that one. Delete. Add intent. Hello intent. Create intent. And it might say, so we want to add some utterances here. This is going to be where the user says his name. So we're going to say something like, my name is my name. How can I copy that there? Really? Okay. And we'll add that. Don't forget to click the add button, otherwise it forgets it. So I'll just save the model before I forget. And now what we need to do is we need to add the intent. Scroll down to see the slot. We need to define the name, the slot type. In other words, what type of data does it hold? There's lots of different data types that Amazon have got defaulted for you, but the one we want is the Amazon first name. So let's just go back here, go back to our intent, find our hello intent. If we just scroll down, you'll see it here. We just want to select a. So there's German first name, cities, movies, and I've lost it, gone past it. We want an Amazon first name. Okay, we can do other things with this, but that's all we need to do, whether make it that it must be included or whatever, must have income or add confirmation and so on, but we'll leave those for now. Okay, you can add some other utterances, but I'm just going to just copy and paste this piece of the JSON. So it's called hello intent. I'm just going to show you how we can also edit the JSON editor. So this is what's created. This is where our invocation is, and all the intents go here. And our hello intent, I'm going to just change all this so that we'll save the model and build the model. That will take a bit, so again I'll just pause the video. Okay, and then at some point you should get full build successful. You can now go and evaluate your model if you want to, and you can say my name is John and submit that, and you can see that hopefully our hello intent will be invoked. Okay, so the next thing we need to do now is to evaluate the model, click the test to test the skill. Okay, yeah, not. So we'll scroll back up to the top. I've saved and I've built the model, so we're okay there. We'll go to the test site. We need to turn testing on, and here we can say open hello John.
Hello, what is your name?
Well, I can say my name is John, and it responds.
Hello John, this is the first visit. Tell me your name.
I think if I just say Joe, that was picked up in my intents as well.
Hello Joe, this is the second visit.
So we can see that it's remembering the name and the number of visits. That's all remembered in the code, but only while we're keeping this session running, session alive and running. I've got another video on permanent attributes if you want to save things across sessions. And so we've seen that bit working now. So my name is a slot that's picked up in our code, and the value of John. So we'll just show you how it's picked up in the code here. So here this is where our case gets invoked. I've got a log, so we can look at the logs in the CloudWatch if you want to. This is where the count is recorded, and this is how we read our slot. So we're passed an intent request. Within that, we've got an intent and some slots, and within that slot, we've got our my name slot. That slot has a value, and if it's null, we just call it anon or whatever. But otherwise, we pick up the name, we give put that into a variable called username, and then we add that to our plain text speech output, which just says, hello, John, username, this is your count visit, tell me your name. So that's the code running, and there's some more examples here. So I think that's all we need to do. Oh, you can see the CloudWatch logs. I'll just show you that briefly as well. If we go here, we pick up code, tab. No, we can't see the CloudWatch from that way, sorry. You need to go to your lambda functions, your services, your CloudWatch. And then there's a big long list of your CloudWatches here. Again from US East 1. Go to the log groups. And one of these, hundreds of these we're messing around with. There's our hello John. And here's our logs. And here we can see our logs and how we can see. So here's our say hello Joe, and here's the response we can send it. So that hopefully will help you get your C# programs up and running with Visual Studio 2019. Okay.